to let the community know our thoughts and hearts are with them tonight and hoping for that reunification soon. A quick reminder, state officials are asking if you have property damage and you're in a safe space, you can go ahead and begin reporting your damage. You can visit disaster.texas.gov and begin reporting all of that damage that you need to your property.
And we'll have that information at KENS5.com. Weather Chief Bill Taylor joining us. And Bill, just a few minutes ago, you said more rain on the way, and then, of course, the timing aspect of this.
Yeah, the good news is that the timing is working in our favor, that we're going to have more time to get this water level down before more rain begins to fall. And getting the water level down will greatly improve these rescue efforts and search efforts up in the Texas Hill Country. And again, I'm a man of faith, and I pray, and I will be praying, and I hope you join me in prayer for these children in the Texas Hill Country. I mean, they were at a summer camp, and this happens. So just numb thinking about this. All right, want to show you some of the images from the Associated Press coming in of what happened today in Kerr County. This rain started overnight, and that's one of the biggest problems, is that the biggest weather feature in this, what's called a low-level jet of instability, comes in. Wow, look at that on the 4th of July. Comes in the overnight hours. And so a lot of these people went to bed, and the Guadalupe River was calm. You heard one of the state officials, the city manager of Kerrville, was out for a jog at 3:30 in the morning, and only a light rain was falling. So it was incredible. I'm going to show you some of the incredible numbers so you can understand some of this. That says it all right there. All right, to radar, light drizzle here, one pocket of heavy rain heading out of Marble Falls towards Austin. So we're going to see more develop in this region, but right now this is more of a lot of ground clutter and radar noise more than rainfall at this point. But this is what got us into this situation, this huge cluster that dropped south and sat over Kerrville for several hours with rainfall rates between 2 and 3 inches per hour. The rainfall numbers have increased in the Kerr County area. You can see more than ½ an inch downtown, almost 2.5 at Timberwood Park, a little more than 1 inch at Helotes. Then you get into Medina Lake for about 1 inch of rainfall. But once you get up into the hill country, this is where the bullseye was. Around Ingram into Hunt for 11.5 to 12 inches, over 10, nearly 11 south of Highway 39, 5.5 at Kerrville, 3 at Comfort, 7 inches, northern Kendall County, 4.5 down at Bernie. So that's why you see the Guadalupe River flood warning extending east over to Canyon Lake. Now take a look at some of these numbers, and you also saw the Medina River under a warning into Medina Lake. At Spring Branch, it's still rising. In fact, right now we're expecting a crest at 38.5 feet at 3 a.m. That'll be after midnight tonight, a crest near 40 feet. And by the way, at Bergheim, since I last looked, this number just updated went up 8 feet. It's now at 49.7. Couldn't find a Guadalupe River at Bergheim flood stage number, but in 2018, if you remember this, it was at 39. So this is 10 feet higher than what you experienced 7 years ago. At Comfort, 34.7, it's already crested. Flood stage was 13 feet ago, 23 at Kerrville, flood stage only at 9. This is the amazing number. When you talk about rainfall rate, 26-foot rise in only 45 minutes. That is incredible. And look at the amount of moisture that's still in this atmosphere. This tropical moisture is still bundled up, ready to rain out, and it stays in place through Saturday afternoon. This is the highest concern. So as we get more instability from that low-level jet and it works with this tropical moisture, more rain expected. You can see how it dries out, but that's not till Sunday and Monday. And then look at the surface dew points to remain over 70 in tropical. So that kind of setup is what leads to another good chance of rain for Saturday. But the good news is that the models are lining up on giving us more time before that heavy rain begins to fall. So let's look, 7 a.m. and we're only seeing light rain, and we're seeing it east of San Antonio, not over the hill country. And the blessing is it's still not over the hill country. This model, this is the HRRR, at 3 o'clock. I mean, we get a lot of time before heavy rain develops. And this is from Karn City and Kennedy through Gonzales and up to Austin. Then it starts pushing into the city, but not until 6 p.m. And then you can see it moving into the hill country, and it's a lot more scattered at 9 p.m. Now the second model, and it's the same spot just a little bit earlier. Mid-morning at 11, very heavy, pushing into the city, but greatly decreasing, collapsing fast by 3 or 4 p.m., and hardly anything falling in the Texas Hill Country. So the latter of the two would be wonderful. Severe Prediction Center has moved the flood outlook a little farther with a marginal risk at 1 out of 5 to Gonzales now. This has been moved farther east. The 2 out of 5 remains in Kerrville and even northern Kendall County. And even though these words don't get lost in this language, marginal and slight doesn't sound like it's serious, but remember, when you're talking about level 1 or level 2 out of a scale of 1 to 5, that's significant. And the rainfall amount, this forecast hasn't changed much. It's still reserving most of the rain. Again, 35 corridor, I-10 corridor, only about ½ an inch expected in the Kerrville area. Outside right now in San Antonio, skies are cloudy. It's a light drizzle with 78. I think we go down to the mid-70s and we see some fog tomorrow morning. From San Fernando Cathedral, where again, we'll be praying. 40% chance with a weather impact alert for Saturday, 89 is the high. And then we've got some sunshine with no chance of rain for Sunday, but then we start warming up a bit. Isolated shower Monday, Tuesday. Weather impact alerts for Thursday and Friday, the 10th and the 11th, Saharan dust. We had a nice break from that because of all this moisture this week, but it should thicken up and return later days of next week. Isolated showers as we start heating up at only a 10% chance, and we're starting to flirt with some 100-degree days once we get into mid-July. More team coverage after a quick break.